Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited to talk to your daddy because it's a Tuesday. We always have Tuesdays with Charlie. And for those of you who've not yet heard that, you got to listen a little bit later in the show. We talk to my father-in-law every week just because we can. And if you...
He is hilarious.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you kind of wonder why we do that, just listen once and you go, oh, I see why you do that. It's he's hilarious, and he doesn't even try to be funny. It just happens, which is the funniest thing. Coming up, we've got that, but we got a lot of other great things, too. And I've got a quote right now from Ethel Barrymore. It says, "You grow up the day you have your first real laugh at yourself." Well, I laugh at myself all the time.
I laugh at myself all the time.
I think so, too. And we laugh at each other, which I think is a really good way to have a marriage. You should laugh at each other in a good way, not laughing at each other in a bad way. That would be bad, but I think that has made our marriage stronger.
We laugh at each other when we do stupid things.
Well, yeah, but you deserve it, and I deserve it. But I mean, I would never laugh at you if you got hurt. Like if there was something.
I've laughed when you've got.
I know you have. See what I mean? All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Tuesday. It is April the 24th, National Pigs in a Blanket Day. We're going to come back to that here in a second.
You love those things.
I do. And National Teach Children to Save Day is today as well. That's it. Just those two things. Now, when you and I first met, not on our first date, but one of the first times I went to your house for dinner, you made pigs. You asked me what I wanted, and I was like, I don't know. You were talking about different things, and you're like, well, Troy likes pigs in a blanket. I was like, oh, I've never had that, and I had never had that. I was 25 years old. I had never had it, and then I liked it so much. You made those for me like 7 more times. I'm like, hey, can you make some more of those pigs in a blanket?
You were that way with everything I made. I made
like,
a giant batch of vegetable soup one time, and I left to go to a bridal shower. And I came home and I was like, well, where's the soup? He's like, I ate it.
A whole
kettle. It was a huge kettle.
A giant kettle of soup.
I was amazing. Only gone like 3 hours.
And I was eating the whole time.
I was like, what the world?
I gained a lot of weight
How
since I met her.
How is that even possible?
I know. It's shocking, but I have. All right. Today is the 24th day of April. Get out there and celebrate. Maybe with pigs in a blanket. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. But first, police in Noonan, Georgia are looking into kind of a bizarre case. A retro Nintendo game there had drugs stashed in it. Oh. Dude bought it at a flea market. Couple dozen cartridges. They were filled with packages of drugs. Julian Turner posted a video on YouTube showing him examining his day's flea market finds, which included multiple Nintendo NES games from the 1980s. His interest was piqued when he noticed one of the cartridges, Roller Games, was a European release. He said the game and a copy of Golf were found to be a little heavier. They weighed about 50% more than they should have. Turner opened the cartridges, discovered they had small packages of what seemed to be drugs. Detectives believe the drugs were inside for a long time before they ended up at that flea market. So,
well, obviously, somebody wouldn't have sold that on a flea market if they knew their drugs were in there.
I've got a link to the story with all the details.
That is crazy.
That is crazy. And I'll bet those cartridges were probably worth a whole lot more without the drugs in them because they're destroyed now, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe not. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. 46-year-old Jonathan Betcher of Florida was arrested after he was found in a Publix parking lot kicking trash cans, jumping on cars, and punching cars while screaming, "I only had one beer." According to arrest report, Betcher was found swinging his arms and yelling, wearing no shirt and no underwear, but basketball shorts around his ankles. Deputies say he was uncontrollably yelling, "I only had one beer. I only wanted to smoke some pot." He explained that he drank a beer and smoked a part of a joint in a homeless camp behind Publix.
Jeez.
As for dropping his drawers, he claimed to be responding to a friend who was mooning him. A judge sentenced him to 45 days in a county jail. What a bizarre story.
That is extremely bizarre.
That is very bizarre. This is what happens right here when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, a little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. My beautiful bride Heidi's either going to be really excited about this or very upset. I got a feeling it's upset.
Okay.
Paramount Pictures is currently working on a new adaptation of Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
No.
Yeah, they're working on that. I know when you and I first got married, that was a movie that you said, "Oh, you got to see that." I had never seen it. And then we watched it, and I fell asleep.
It is a brilliant movie.
And then I watched it again like a year ago. And first thing I noticed is they spell cemetery wrong. I was like, well,
it's because kids wrote the sign at the cemetery.
Okay. None of it really made any sense to me.
Oh, my gosh. That's because you slept.
Well, it was a good nap.
It's a great movie, and it has Fred Gwynn in it. And
I liked him.
I don't think they should redo it.
No, he was Herman Munster.
They will never be able to find someone to play that character the way he did.
That's going to be tough. Also, big screen, little screen news here. Netflix drama 7 Seconds was canceled. And I think 7 Seconds was about how long they had the deal for that drama. So,
I hadn't even ever heard of it.
So it was there.
But we don't have Netflix. So
then it was gone. Well, we have it. We just don't.
We don't watch it.
No, we don't use it. You're
We
smarter.
did like that Wild West show.
That was on Hulu.
Oh, that was on Hulu.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah, we didn't use Netflix.
There you go. A couple of stories there from big screen, little screen, courtesy of ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, your scoop of the day, courtesy of 49bydesign.com. Experts from Columbia University say bathing every day could increase your risk of infections. Sounds weird. Showering excessively can reduce skin hydration, causing it to become dry and cracked, which allows germs to enter. Most people bathe in the belief that will reduce their risk of illness. However, it actually could, it does little more than remove body odor. It says washing strips the skin of natural oils, which can disrupt good bacteria that supports people's immune system. Bathing just once or twice a week is usually sufficient for most. Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, what about the body odor then?
I'm not sure. Talk to the Columbia University experts, apparently.
Bunch of stinky. Good luck getting next to those people to even have the conversation.
Excuse me, I was going to talk to... Ooh!
Never mind.
I'll call you.
I'll send you an email.
Major credit card networks, including American Express, Visa, Discover, and MasterCard, no longer going to be requiring signatures on transactions in the U.S. beginning this month. Retailers can still require signatures if they choose to, so the retailer gets to decide now. But I guess some have already stopped asking for you to sign things. Does that sound normal to you? This story goes on and on and on.
I mean, I've had that before where I'm like, oh, don't I need to sign anything? They're like, no.
Nope. So there's some large restaurant chains that are going to make you sign for meals, but most of them will not now. And many of them are using this new pay at the table thing where you scan your own card and then you just sign it with your finger.
Yep.
So, but they're saying apparently the whole signing is just, they think it's like a way of the past and we don't need to do that no more. They feel that they've got this, everything is all fixed up in such a way that you don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless, of course, it was your card that was stolen, then you're going to say, hey.
Well, either way, even if somebody steals your card and they sign for it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not stopping anybody from stealing. So
I remember I didn't have a credit card for many, 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 many years. I just got one again less than a year ago. 8 months ago, as a matter of fact. I just saw on the thing that I've had it for 8 months. But we didn't use credit. We haven't for so long. And our credit score was low because we didn't use credit. And then we wanted to do something where we needed the credit score better, and they were like, oh, hey, you need to get a credit card. I was like, what? This
doesn't
makes
make any sense.
No sense to me.
You have to have debt to have good. It's like,
doesn't
whatever.
make any. Yeah, so I use it and pay it and use it and pay it. But either way, I remember when I was like 20, I worked at a place where I used the company card, and the lady, the CFO, her name was Wendy. And on the card, it said Wendy, when it had her last name. And I used this card to get gas for a trip, from, it was like 5 states there and back. And nobody ever asked about the fact that I was a dude, John, using a card that said Wendy on it. Nobody ever asked. And I thought, that's kind of scary. Yeah. So kind of scared me away from using credit cards. So I don't know. What were we talking about again?
I really don't know.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to have to sign anymore, according to this story. So let's move on. Quite the incident that happened in New York City, a report of a tiger roaming the streets. This happened like a week ago, a little over a week ago. This was sent to me. Turns out it was not a tiger. It was a raccoon.
It's a big difference between, it must have been a big raccoon.
It was a big raccoon, a large raccoon, but not a tiger.
Holy cow, there's a big difference between a tiger and a raccoon. Where was this where they didn't know?
In New York City.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there's not a lot of tigers in New York City. Probably not a lot of raccoons wandering around as either. It says here the raccoon was brought into our facility and was euthanized as required by law. And it says here that it was a rather large raccoon. Raccoons, bats, and skunks are classified as rabies vector species, which means that the animal could carry and transmit rabies. I've got a link to that story in our show notes as well. I just thought it was funny because they had a lot of calls. Several people that called, but the one that was the most interesting is, there's a tiger on the loose. It was a raccoon. It was not a tiger, thank goodness. This has been your Scoop of the Day, courtesy of 49bydesign.com. Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com. And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone, we call my father-in-law for a little thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
It's Tuesdays with Charlie on the John and Heidi Show.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. So what kind of cool stuff are we going to learn about on the program today?
Well, let's see what we got here. Did you know that there's a teddy bear in every Dutch police car in case something terrible happens to a child?
Really?
Oh,
that's a good idea.
Nice.
And I think they just got a whole load of Trumpy bears.
Did they really?
I think that's really nice.
That's cool that they did that. That's really neat.
Would you want a Trumpy bear?
Yes.
I've actually seen them. I think they're kind of funny looking.
Hey, do you know that music has the ability to repair brain damage and return lost memories?
I did know that because they play that for people that are in like comas and stuff. They will play music and stuff that will help kind of bring them back. And I've seen videos of Alzheimer's victims that when they play music, it's like all of a sudden everything comes back to them. It's really cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Better start playing music for me because
you're starting to go, aren't you, Dad?
I don't remember a whole lot of stuff.
Well, here's the good news. At least we're doing all new content this week. A couple weeks ago, we did the same stuff. We tried telling you all the way through the show. I think we've already heard this.
And you didn't catch it either.
Oh, we did. We caught it.
Maybe you would have caught it if we started like humming Sultans of Swing or something. In the
We just kept right on rolling.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
What the heck? Then remember Babe Ruth? Well, you don't because you weren't even born probably.
We know who he is, though. Yeah.
Yes.
His number on his jersey was number 3.
Okay.
Do you know why it was number 3?
Why?
Because he batted number 3rd. He was a third batter every time, so he knew what to do.
Really? Huh.
Hey, free. Get up there. You're up.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Why? Did he get confused easily or something?
Good, yes.
Here's why. I think it's so that they had, two other people on bases. So when he hit the home run, they actually, got more points.
Oh, okay.
Because if he was the first batter and he hit a home run, he'd just get, his points. So.
Well, that's true.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome, John.
You know the U.S. military's dried food rations? You don't want to eat them.
Why is that?
They can be rehydrated with urine.
Oh, that does not sound like a missing ingredient to me. Well, I don't think that's how they usually did it. They put water in them, right?
Well, yeah, but if you're out there and got no water, you can do that.
Yeah.
Eesh.
If you're in a pickle.
Be one heck of a pickle to be in. I don't think it's not a solid replacement. We'll put it that way.
We're going to get thrown off the air.
You two are both laughing. I don't even know what you're laughing about. Don't tell me. I don't even want to know. Well, Charlie, are you ready for a question?
Okay, let's try to answer it.
Every time you lick a stamp, how many calories do you consume? Nowadays, we don't lick stamps. They got the peel and stick ones. But back in the day, when you would lick a stamp, how many calories would you get every single time you'd lick that stamp?
30.
No, 1/10 of a calorie.
Oh.
So my
stamps are different.
You really,
my stamps are different.
They probably taste a lot better, too. It was a fruit-flavored stamp. No, 1/10 of a calorie. Every time you lick a stamp, you got 1/10 of a calorie down your gullet.
Oh, well, I'm going to quit licking stamps then because
that's clearly the problem.
Yeah.
It's all those stamps.
This is not a beer belly. It's a stamp belly.
That's right. Look at them.
Wonder if you can get workman's comp for that.
Yeah. Look at all the stamps. You guys have caused me major. I don't know. I haven't seen a licky stamp in a long time. Are they all?
I think postcard stamps are licky stamps.
Are
now.
they?
I don't know.
I think they're all peel and sticky. No more licky. I don't know if that's. I don't know the technical terms.
I want one of them licky stamps.
I'm going to ask anybody that goes to the post office today, ask for a licky instead of a peel and sticky. Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat. Thank you for chatting with us again.
We'll do her next week.
That sounds great.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Weddell seal can travel underwater for 7 miles without surfacing for air. Weddell. Weddell?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a seal. It's a pretty good seal. He can hold his breath for a long time. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
According to tests made at the Institute for the Study of Animal Problems in Washington, D.C., dogs and cats, like people, are either right-handed or left-handed. That is, they either favor their right paw or their left paw. Now I wonder if our dogs are right-pawed or left-pawed.
Problems for animals?
Yeah, there's a place called the Study of Animal Problems in Washington, D.C. Doesn't shock me at all that that's where it's located.
Yeah.
So there you go. I didn't realize that, but they apparently are right-pawed or left-pawed. I have to check.
I'm sure glad we know that.
Here's what I'll do. I'll give them the scissors and see if they struggle to cut, because that's how you can tell. If they're left-handed, they usually struggle to use the right-handed scissors.
Okay.
You think that would work?
I don't know.
Probably not. This has been a couple of fun facts, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and it's kind of like two words, really. I don't know if it is or not. It's crinkum crankum. What do you think crinkum crankum is?
I honestly have no idea.
Something full of twists and turns. Something elaborately twisted or tricky. A thing fanciful or excessively intricate and elaborate. A fanciful name for any object that is full of twists and turns. A Victorian slang term for a woman's commodity. What?
For a woman's what?
Commodity.
What is a woman's commodity?
It is her crinkum crankum. Crinkum crankum. I can only imagine. I'm not sure what this... Anyway, grandiloquent word people. Thank you for another weird word. Crinkum crankum on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now some weird news on a Tuesday. 75-year-old Joseph Kurme of central Minnesota is accused of damaging more than 100 vehicles by spreading nails on the road outside of his house to punish speeding drivers. According to the criminal complaint, the investigation began when a woman reported to police that a nail had punctured her tire. When she brought her car to the repair shop, employees said that they'd seen many tires damaged by these same nails recently. Police spoke to the shop employees who said they'd realized dozens of flats had the same exact nail, a 1.5-inch steel cap mason nail, over the last few months. An officer went to a home improvement store to track purchases of this specific nail. Surveillance video and purchase records show an older male purchasing these nails 4 times. Police tracked one of these purchases to a credit card in his name, Kermay's name, and they said he has reported speeding vehicles outside of his home to police earlier in the year. He decided to take matters into his own hands by punishing these speeding drivers by putting nails on the road.
But it also punishes the drivers that don't speed.
If convicted, he could go to prison for 5 years and faces a $10,000 fine. So don't think it's a good idea. It's not. It's a bad idea. This could have been our moment of duh, but it was just so weird. It had to be today's weird news. Now today's moment of duh, and this is such a bizarre story. A wild car crash in Westland, Michigan involved at least 5 vehicles, and it ended with a man getting out of his car, taking off his clothing, and dancing. Police said a pickup truck came barreling down Wayne Road and plowed into a bunch of vehicles. After the crash, the driver got out of the truck and stripped naked. Officials elaborately stated that the man's stripped all of his clothing off and started dancing in the street. One witness said when the police arrived, the man was shouting, "I'm fine, I'm fine." He eventually tried to outrun the cops, but they nabbed him. They put him in handcuffs and took him away. The driver is still in custody as of the writing of this story, and police were trying to determine why he was acting so erratically. So apparently it wasn't under the influence of anything they could trace, but they're just trying to figure out what in the world just happened here.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
This was our moment of duh. This probably could have been our weird news, and our weird news could have been our moment of duh today. They're interchangeable so many times.
Usually they are, yeah.
Both stories today, just so bizarre. But what this guy did is definitely today's moment of duh.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
'Tis time now for Fake News or Florida. You ready for today's fun little game, Heidi?
Yes.
Heidi has to decide whether what I'm saying is something that really happened in the state of Florida or if it's fake news, something I'm just making up to pull the wool over her eyes.
All right.
And you've done pretty good lately on guessing these correctly. And we've trimmed it down to just one per day because I'm going to run out of them if we don't do that. So,
okay, what have we got?
go. Fake news or Florida? A woman was arrested after she tried to buy her 80-year-old father a prostitute on Easter. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It is true. That did happen in Florida. I have a link to that story. It's in our show notes. We do this new thing.
A nice Easter gift.
Yeah, happy Easter, Dad. I don't know what that was all about. We do this new thing now where we, instead of posting as many times on social media, we post everything, even things that we never used to post on social media. We post all of that in our show notes blog at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news. We're going to get to it right now, courtesy of Odiva. It's a monthly subscription service just for ladies. All of the details at radiosavings.com. Young man shocks older veteran and other shoppers at Iowa Walmart. Did you send this to me? I think you did. Ankeny, Iowa? We actually have some friends that live there. Yep. Young man surprised an older man and everyone else in line at Walmart in Ankeny, Iowa with a simple but polite gesture. Woman standing in line, waiting to check out, heard the exchange and snapped a few pictures. She posted them on Facebook. The anonymous perpetrator got away, but the sensation he created has gone viral. Alana Ruthland was standing behind an older gentleman wearing a veteran ball cap. Another customer, a young man, paid for his merchandise. She wasn't paying much attention until she heard the older man start to protest. Alana posted on Friday, I heard the older man's voice in a confused state declare, wait, what's happening? What are you doing? And there's a photo here. You can see the gentleman. You can see the younger man as well. I looked up from my phone to see a younger man in front of the older gentleman responding, sir, I'm paying for your items because you paid by serving my country, and I'm grateful.
Isn't that awesome?
That is so wonderful.
I loved this one.
The older man was a bit
this.
dumbstruck and didn't know how to react. The young man said a final thank you and then left. The veteran asked the clerk, what do I do now? According to Alana, the cashier responded, well, you have a good day. It was at that moment I realized I had two heroes in front of me. How cool is that?
That
and there's
is
photos,
awesome.
And all of this happened about a month ago is when this happened. She says, my heart welled as I watched our veteran readjust his veteran ball cap, straighten up a little, and hold his head with pride as he walked out knowing somebody was grateful for him. Oh, that is so nice.
I know.
Did you hear the little quiver in my voice?
I did.
Reading it? Heidi loves finding stories that choke me up a little bit. I think that is just awesome. And I've got a link to that in our show notes as well. And that is the new show notes blog at johnandheidishow.com. And if you come across good news, please share that with us, whether you do it through our social media or right through our website. Then maybe we'll be reading about your stories on a program in the near future. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.